Hi, my name is Chris, and 4 years ago I taught myself how to sew. Here's the first thing I made. Now I can make a pair of jeans in just 3.5 hours. So I started a business with some friends, and we've made great clothes in the US for the last 3 years. We drank this and listened to these. Making clothes was awesome. But then, 2 years ago, we met Danny from Tennessee, who had run a factory for over 25 years. And that's when we learned what it really means to make something in America. I've had 5 people tell me Danny's the best person you can find, and I believe him. He loves Tennessee football, Martha Stewart cooking shows, and playing practical jokes. He started his factory in 1988. Here's their first Christmas party. 150 employees. Here's what they used to make. Danny's last Christmas party looked like this. 5 of the 150 workers remain. So what happened? In 1980, America made 80% of its clothes. Manufacturing was the backbone of the economy. But then companies started outsourcing like crazy, looking for cheaper labor around the globe. And as a result, we lost 5.2 million jobs in a 20-year time span. Currently, we make 2% of our clothes here in the States. That huge loss of jobs hit rural America the hardest. There used to be 20 factories in a 2-hour radius from Danny. Now there's 3. And when a town's got a population of 300 people and you lose 145 jobs, that's a big deal. We've seen Danny and his factory fight tooth and nail to find more work so they can hire people back and continue to do what they love, make incredible clothes. But they're struggling to hang on. This is why we created Victor, for Danny's factory and others like it. We've seen the defeat the factories have felt. In a market that's been dominated by outsourcing and unfair wages, we want to reverse the rules to where the hometown factory is the victor. And Victor is doing things different. We're paying our sewers a living wage and giving 5% of our profits back to the factory to reinvest into their employees. We're not only making highly detailed products, we're using entirely organic material sourced from the US and Japan. And we're making online shopping easy by sending a free try-on box to your door, pricing our clothes straight from our factory to you. A sweatshirt that would typically be $125 is now $65. We're raising the standard for what it means to be made in America and making it easy so you can join us. Together we can employ our neighbors at fair wages for a fair price. We're not going to be able to change the market overnight, but with the money from Kickstarter, we'll be able to keep our factories in business and hire people back one by one. Help us launch Victor. It's time well spent. All right. That's a video for a Kickstarter campaign that we did in the spring of 2015. We had been running Noble Denim, a company of ours, for a couple years, and we decided to launch a sister company, Victor Athletics. New name, new clothes, and within 30 days, we raised $123,000, making us the 6th, thank you, very excited. And that made us the 6th largest apparel campaign in Kickstarter history. We had press coming out of the woodwork to talk about us. Get that slide of press up there. Look at that. CNN. Thank goodness. And they started writing about us. We were called maybe the next American Apparel, but with better PR. And why was this? Why all the attention? It was for this. It's a gray sweatshirt. You can get gray sweatshirts at TJ Maxx. I've seen gray sweatshirts at gas stations. So why the attention for something so simple? Who wears a size medium? Medium? There you go.
Thank you.
Happy birthday. And so I want to answer that question with, what do millennials want? Isn't that the big crazy question you see on newsstands, magazines? We're all trying to figure that out. I'm a millennial. I'm 29 years old. I believe millennials want something that is real, and they want something that's meaningful. They want what they see to be what they get, and they want to be part of something bigger than themselves. I was just with my parents for a trip, and they're talking about some home renovations they're doing, and they're really excited about this fireplace. They put river rock above the fireplace. It goes up to the ceiling on the wall, and I was like, that's cool. Like, how do you install river rock? It seems like there are all these different sizes, and like, Chris, no, it's not actually rocks. It's even better. It's plastic that looks just like rocks, and the value is great. And I thought, oh, that's such a bummer. Like, I was expecting river rocks.
And this is such a good example of two generations stepping back and looking at the same thing. My parents are proud because they got something that looks just like rocks, but at a great value, and all I can see is plastic. I'll never be able to go into their house again without like knocking on it and hearing the hollow sound of a lie of rocks. That's a trivial example, but it's often hard to connect two generations when we seem to be looking at the same thing, but it's very different. Another example of this is social media. So social media is all over, the rise of the kind of the micro celebrity. We're all able to kind of cultivate and curate a lifestyle that everybody can see. So you're flipping through your feed and you see these beautiful pictures of Americanos kind of nicely positioned on tables, and baguettes are always wrapped in brown paper, and the light's always perfectly streaming onto their mid-century modern credenza. And what I found is that when you get to know these people and you look behind the curtain and you find out, no, they're real. Like John does drink 10 cortados a day, and he lives by a bakery, and they just wrap their baguettes in brown paper, and he loves it, and he takes pictures of it. We become fans. We think, this is great. I'll be inspired by it. I'll become a follower. But you can get the exact same pictures, same style of pictures from someone else, and you peek behind the curtain, and you realize that it's sponsored by Pottery Barn or West Elm, and we're done. We feel like we've been sold a bill of goods. We feel like what we saw, which we thought was a real internal expression of someone, is actually a corporate thing trying to get us to buy something. And millennials run from that. We want what we see to be what we get. We want it to be real. We want our interactions to be real. We want how I communicate with you on the stage to be the same way I talk to you at a bar, to be the same way that I talk to you at a job. And there's this crazy phenomenon that is like the most millennial thing ever. So language alert. I don't know if you have to turn this off. You see the word fuck on everything these days. You go into a classy store and you see a mug that says, "Have a great fucking morning." Why is that? Because our parents' generation, that word was like the most taboo thing in the world. We kind of knew everyone said it when push comes to shove. They might say hell or damn, but you only use that word like behind the scenes. And our generation's like, no, if you say it, you should be able to say it anywhere. You should kind of be able to say it all the time. For better or for worse. Now, I'm guessing the people in here that were probably offended that I said that are probably above the age of 40. Everyone else probably either didn't care or kind of liked it. And if you kind of liked it, you're probably a millennial. Because we want things to be honest. We want things to be the way they always are. So it doesn't just stop there. We also want things to have meaning. We want to participate in something bigger than ourselves. We want to know that business, that life can actually change and do good things. There's a study out that shows 90% of millennials believe businesses should achieve good. That's a crazy number, and I think that's something that's unique to our generation. Patagonia. Patagonia is one of my favorite companies. It started by a guy named Yvon Chouinard. He was a rock climber. It started about 30 years ago, and him and his buddies climbed rocks. They loved being outdoors, and they found that at the time you had to drill into the rock to attach to it, and it was really bad on the rock. So he was a blacksmith. He made his own hardware that you could take with you. You could reuse it, and it didn't hurt the rock. And from that, he started a whole company of clothes. And it's had a passionate following ever since. And why is that? It's because Yvon Chouinard loves the environment, and everything that he does, his meaning and value of who he is as a person is played out. They were the first people to use organic cotton. They just recently found out that the down they were using in their jackets wasn't as good as it can be, and so they changed it all to a more expensive, a more time-consuming down, and put a video out saying essentially, hey, we didn't do this great, but we're doing it better. And people are like, we don't really care about down. But oh yeah, we love you guys because you care, Yvon, more than I will ever care. And so when I'm buying a jacket, I'm not just buying a jacket. I'm actually helping the environment. My money is investing into things I believe in. It's bigger than just me. And millennials love that. We want something that has meaning. Conversely, Monsanto, chemical company, Roundup, they're known for polluting waterways right and left. That's like all they do every day. Their company, if they do what they do, pollutes water. But then they have a nice little offshoot of their company. They have an organization, and what it supports is clean waterways. It's a very small part of their organization. And what we see on that is like, man, so the work you do every day, if I give you money, it's probably going to polluting water. But so that you can make me think that you care, you have an organization that says you care about cleaning up water. And we just call BS on that. Our generation runs from that. That's not real. That's not meaningful. Thank you. Your applause made me think. So with Noble, it started, like I was saying, it was just me making some jeans. And I wasn't trying to make a business, and we didn't sit around and do some research and say, what do people want? What are the values people have? It was just me and my friends, and we said, like, what do we care about? And what I really fell in love with was just sewing. Like, I just want to make clothes. I love construction. I love sitting down for hours at a time and sewing clothes. And then our values also were that we ate organic and we wanted to buy things local. So if we were going to make a t-shirt, we wanted it to be an organic t-shirt. And if we were going to make something, we wanted to make it here in the States. And we care about people, so we wanted to make sure if we're going to pay someone to make something, that the money we gave them, they could actually live on. It was kind of a shouldn't be novel idea, but it's actually rare. And our customers loved it. Our customers know that we're so internally motivated by these things that they trust us, they engage with us, and they support us. A couple things that we're doing to push the envelope is we've been using a great American-made denim for years. It's a conventional cotton because we cannot get organic cotton until just now. We're starting to move all of our denim over to a natural indigo-dyed organic denim. And people don't really care, but what we found is that when we talk to our customers about this, like, wow, the response is you are always a little step above what we thought you guys would do because you seem to care more about the environment and doing things well, I guess, than we did, and that's why we support you guys. When we did this Kickstarter campaign, we started with a new factory making t-shirts. And the more we got to know them, we realized that the people at the top of the factory chain were making money. Everyone else, the conditions were not great. They weren't making a living wage. So we pulled out of that factory and we emailed our backers and we said, it's going to be a 2-month delay. We need to move our t-shirt making to a new factory. 2-month delay on your stuff. We got more happy emails saying, this is why I backed you guys, because I know that you care about these things, and this is just proof. I'm actually happy to wait because it's an example of why I invested in you. That spoke so loud to me. And that's what our generation wants. They want us to be honest, and they want to know that what's behind the scenes is what they see on the front lines. I grew up as a missionary kid, and I grew up on the mission field overseas. And I used to think that being a missionary was really the only way to live out your faith in an integrated way. But being an entrepreneur, starting my business, I found this to be the most challenging and wonderful place to live out my values because no one's holding me to it. But when I do, I feel so integrated in the way I want to live. I feel like the kingdom can happen, not just on the mission field, but it can happen in business. Because the things that I believe in, the things I believe Jesus believes in, I can see playing out. It's obviously great because I believe in it, but it's amazing how our generation flocks to it because it's authentic. So I'm out of time. I just want to say thanks, guys, and it's good to be here.